In Las Vegas, investigators announced the driver of the Cybertruck that exploded outside the Trump Hotel shot himself before the explosion, which hurt 7 people. Police confirmed in the last hour that Denver 7, or what Denver 7 reported last night, the suspect is Matthew Livelsberger from Colorado Springs. We have team coverage this evening as more information comes in.
Let's send it out to Denver 7 Investigates' Natalie Chuck first. Natalie, you've been in the Springs digging for information since we first learned the Cybertruck and the explosion was rented here in Colorado.
Well, Jessica and Micah, I can tell you that this street is much less chaotic than it was about 10 hours ago. Around 7:30 in the morning, all we saw were law enforcement vehicles, a string of them driving up this street, parking along the sidewalk, and all of it was to get to this set of townhomes over here. Now, we are told that search warrant was actually supposed to be executed last night, but it was postponed until this morning, meaning neighbors here woke up to a very unusual scene. One thing about this Colorado Springs neighborhood.
It's pretty quiet.
Very quiet neighborhood.
Very quiet.
That quiet was disrupted in the early hours of Thursday morning, not by a noise, but bright flashing lights.
Came out and looked down in the corner of our street and saw camera crews out there and didn't know what was going on, but I thought we'd eventually find out.
And soon they did, finding out that the FBI was executing a search warrant into the home of 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger, the man accused of this, a Tesla Cybertruck going up in flames outside of Trump Hotel in Las Vegas on New Year's Day. Investigators now revealing Livelsberger died after shooting himself in the head inside of the Cybertruck before the explosion. Law enforcement agents spent nearly 3 hours at the home, neighbors watching in awe, grappling with the aftermath of a deadly start to 2025.
It's just scary never knowing who you're living next to exactly. We're pretty close with everyone on our exact row here, but not as close with the people on the other side.
It just seems to be the world we live in these days, where people have to express themselves with more violent approaches as opposed to getting help and figuring out a better way to do things.
This woman speaking with us just after the search, saying she knew the driver and never saw that Cybertruck.
He seemed normal. His wife is very nice. They just had a baby.
Denver 7 Investigates was first to report that the driver of the Cybertruck and the driver of the truck in a deadly attack in New Orleans the same day likely overlapped at the same military base. Officials confirming that the two were stationed at Fort Bragg at some point and Afghanistan in 2009. Plus, both rented the cars used in each case on an app called Turo. Still, investigators insist there is no reason to believe the two knew each other at the moment.
If these turned out to be simply similarities, very strange similarities to have. And so we're not prepared to rule in or rule out anything at this point. There's lots more for us to do in this investigation.
You know, investigators' #1 priority right now is to pinpoint a motive for that explosion. We also know that the Joint Terrorism Task Force is currently investigating the case. But guys, right now it is just too early to tell exactly what went on and get a lot of the answers to questions that people still have. For now, live in Colorado Springs, Natalie Chuck.
Yeah, we'll continue pursuing the answers to all of those questions. We're following the latest on the explosion in Las Vegas and the attack in New Orleans, and we'll update you on air and online at denver7.com.
In the meantime, we want to dive deeper into the Turo rental process, which, as Natalie explained, was key in both of these attacks. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joins us live now.
And you know, in that latest briefing from Las Vegas police, we learned a lot of new information about the rental process of that Cybertruck. We learned that it was rented just 3 days after Christmas, and it was done so from right here in Denver. Now, that Tesla vehicle, it was rented, like Natalie mentioned, from that Turo app. That's a really popular peer-to-peer car rental service. It's been around for several years, too. Both the Las Vegas and the New Orleans attacks now raising questions about the app's vetting process, its security measures as well. I spoke with a couple of Denver Turo hosts who told me they've made a business out of renting their vehicles. They believe in this venture. They told me this isn't turning them away.
I've dealt with my share of bad guests as well. When you do so much business, as Turo is one of the largest now rental companies out there, if you do business with like 1,000 people, you're going to get 1 or 2 bad ones.
And coming up at 6, we did hear from Vigiani, who again you just heard from there. He said that he rents over 40 vehicles on the Turo app, and he walks us through some of the security measures in place already. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Veronica, thank you.